What if I told you, rather than just jumping out of bed and running to the shower in the morning, that if you just stopped and did the 5 stretches I'm gonna show you here today, that you'd feel 10 years younger? Because you will, especially if you can string them together consistently. And the good news is, these are dynamic stretches, so if you wake up like me and you feel sort of groggy, they'll get the blood flowing, the energy going, and they're gonna address a lot of the common orthopedic weak points that a lot of us have. And it starts with the first exercise up here, and it's called the squat fold. So your feet are gonna go close together. We're gonna walk you through exactly how to do this. Feet are close together. You're gonna take your hands and squat down, right out in front of you. Get as deep as you can. Drop your butt down and get your shoulders up. That will give you some good spinal curve. And then from here, all you're gonna do is shoot the butt up, hands down, try to touch the ground, but most importantly, push those knees back, right, into a dynamic hamstring stretch, and also the low back. From here again, drop it in. Again, back goes as tall and as straight as you could possibly make it. I don't want to see this, right? That's not actually engaging and waking up the muscles that have been dormant all night. We want those thoracic muscles to become a little bit more extended, so I'm trying to get as tall as I possibly can. And again, down, touch, drive the knees back. And what you're doing here is trying to go through about 5 or 6 repetitions. You don't have to do a lot of these. Like I said, it's only going to take you 5 minutes, but the reward will be very big. All right, so from here, we move into the next exercise. And this time, what we're gonna do is position ourselves into a side bridge. So I get down, I let one hip hit the ground like that. I'm gonna let that bottom leg go as straight as I can and through the top leg, and then bring this leg up as far as you can where you can still keep the foot flat on the ground, okay? So as high as you can bring it in this direction, foot flat on the ground. This elbow is straight and the arm is actually supporting you in this position. Now, this top arm here, drive it down into your side, okay, just to get into the good starting position. And then you're gonna lift up into that side bridge and just reach as far as you can in this direction. So what's happening here is you're getting a good stretch of all the lats, the back of this top side shoulder. You're getting activation through the glute on this side. You're getting activation of something called the quadratus lumborum, which is a muscle that actually is responsible for hiking the hip. And because we oftentimes don't sit very straight, when you sit on one side or the other, or one cheek or the other, that muscle gets tight and it causes low back pain. So we're using this exercise here to not only strengthen it in this position by driving up, but then dropping it and getting to this big curve. And when you get into this curve here, you're gonna feel the stretch all the way down through the lat, into the hip, and really through that QL that I was just talking about, which is on the back side, okay? So up and over. And again, 5 or 6 reps is all you need here. The idea though is becoming consistent. Remember, this is a daily routine that you can do of these dynamic stretches. And of course, this one I would do the other side by simply switching positions like that, all right? And then driving up and doing the same thing. The third move here is one that actually focuses on that QL even a little bit more. And so what I do is I drop one leg back and just, again, land on that opposite hip, okay? So one leg's coming up, this leg's going back down. If you want to know if you're in the right position or not, you want to have this heel at about mid-thigh. All right, so if it's bent, it's right about mid-thigh. That leg is all the way as straight back as you can make it, and you're on that knee. From here, what you do, instead of keeping up like we did in the last exercise, you want to flatten yourself out to your forearm. From here, you take this hand, put the back side of it on the ground, and you just slide it through. You're going to slide it as far as you can, trying to target this rear delt, or this middle delt really, down to the floor. All right, so see how far down you can go, and you get a really good stretch on that rear delt. All right, from here, you slide it back out, and you reach up as far as you can go, trying to get good thoracic rotation. So thoracic rotation, this is the second time I mentioned the thoracic spine, is critical because we lose mobility because of all the time we spend by leaning forward and hunching forward on our phones, at our desks. We lose mobility in the thoracic spine because it's really taken up in this direction. We want to not only extend it, but then make sure we maintain the ability to rotate through there. So again, back side, up, reach as far as you can go, reach through. Now, if you have a hard time getting low on this, it's okay to let that back hip lift a little bit to get a little bit lower, all right? Because you're still gonna get a really good stretch in through that piriformis on this backside, all right? So if you have to lift a little bit because you're lacking flexibility, that's totally fine. Stretch number 4, something we call the hip switch lean. So here, you're going to put one foot over the other, right? One foot over the other knee, like this, and then bend that knee. Now the action at the legs is actually quite simple. It's just gonna be doing this, down and down. That's it. That's all the legs are doing. It's just sort of windshield wipering left and right. But you can do a little bit more by letting the upper body follow the legs when it comes down to the ground. So when this top foot actually comes down to the ground, I can drive down with it just like that. And when I do, I can really intensify not only the hip flexion on this side, but get that external rotation through that down hip. The one that's on the ground here, you'll really start to feel a good stretch. And also in here through the adductors and the groin muscle on the top leg when you come down. All right, so it hits everything, but I didn't mention this side. This top leg here is actually driving that other leg down into internal rotation. So you can see that this foot or this ankle can actually push down on that leg to get it into internal rotation. And that's gonna, again, stretch out those hip external rotators, right? So it's a great movement. It's actually got a lot of different benefits to it, but your entire lower body and most of all your hips are gonna feel really nice and loose after you're done doing it. Which brings us to our 5th one here. It's called the London Bridge. So we talked about how important the glutes are, right? And not just to stretch them, but to strengthen them, because most of us have some element of glute weakness, and it rears its ugly head a lot of different ways. But people will do bridges to address that, which is great. The only problem is that the regular bridge is gonna focus mostly on the glute max, because it's going straight up and down the sagittal plane. If you wanna get that real weak muscle, the glute medius, then you have to get into external rotation of the hip. So the best way to do this is to just drop your leg out to the side and try to flatten it. So you point your toes all the way to the side. Rather than having them straight up and down like this, rotate the leg so you're on the outside of this leg, like that. This leg is gonna bend up into a traditional bridge position. But when you press up, you're gonna drive up into a bridge. Because this hip is externally rotated on this side over here, you're getting the glute medius involved. And that bridge is gonna feel much weaker, might even cramp up if you're doing it right and you need the work, but you get up as high as you can go. And then we don't just stop there, but we allow the other leg to drop down on top. So again, getting an additional stretch of the rotators on the backside hip. So lift up and down. So it's up, everything pulls over, and it drops down. Trying to stay as high as you can on this leg with the butt in the air on that side for as long as possible. Drops down as we get to the front, lift and pull the leg across. But again, leave that right hip up in the air the entire time to really engage that glute medius on this side. Come back, rotate, and then let everything drop down. And again, all we have to do, other side, bring that leg up, rotate this one out until you're on the outside of that leg, and that toe is pointed straight over. You bridge out of there, and then you let this side drop down. I actually felt a little bit of a pop in my low back, a good one, when I did that. So the point is, again, you don't have to spend a lot of time, but you should spend time. And that time should take place every single morning because it's a great opportunity to wake up and make yourself feel more refreshed, more energetic. And again, doing these dynamic moves is a great way to do that very effectively in a short period of time. Before you go grab that morning coffee, I'm not saying you can't do that, just do this first and do it consistently and it will pay off. Guys, if you're looking for complete programs where we actually build in all of the training that you want to do to build your body and your muscles to support the new flexibility that you have, then you can find them over at ATHLEAN-X.com. And if you haven't done so, guys, make sure you click subscribe, turn on notifications so you never miss a video when we're putting out. All right, guys, try them out. I promise you, you'll feel better. See you soon.